It ain't too late. Yeah.
I'm finna say today, let me be great. These niggas ain't got
I'll
nothing to
get ready
say.
for it.
Play with words, nigga, wordplay. Get my eyes closed on my way. Gave a zip away.
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
Can you dig? Can you dig?
It's your boy, Brush Slam with Dreads Murphy.
Can you dig?
Chiming in.
I can dig it. I can dig it. Can you dig? Can you dig?
Give y'all a little something today, man. A little motivation to speak. Man, can you dig it? Back in 2001, around May the 21st, no, May the 20th, 2001. I was in the kitchen and I was cooking something up. And as I was cooking it up, my mother was laying on the couch and one of my cousins was in the house. I was over at Etheridge Apartments. And as I was standing there cooking, I heard my mama waking up out of her sleep screaming, "Somebody help. Help, help, Chris, help, Andrea, somebody help, help." And she said, "I'm not ready to go, mama. I'm not ready to go." When she said, I looked at my cousin who was with me at the time and I said, "Did you hear that?" And she was like, "Yeah, I heard that." And I was like, man, I just got quiet because a feeling came over my body that like calmed me down. I told my cousin, said, "Man, let me hurry up and take you back home, so I can get back." So I drove my cousin back home on the east side. He was on the west side of it. I know where Etheridge is at. And so when I got home, when I got my cousin home, I turned around and started driving back. And I was driving back, my phone started ringing. And it was my other cousin, and she was saying to me that hey, you need to hurry up and get over here. Something wrong with your mother. So I rushed back to my cousin's apartment. And as I got there, my mother, she was like vomiting. And she was saying she did not want to go to the hospital. So I grabbed my mother and started walking with her, and she felt so light when I got in the car. And I rushed her to Profilon Hospital, which is Emory now. And as I was driving her to the hospital, I was wide open. I was doing everything over the speed limit. I had my flashes on. I was blowing the horn. I was driving like I was an ambulance driver. I was going around cars, driving crazy. And my mama gave me a look like, "Boy, if I don't die, you gonna kill me," So rushed on to the hospital. Got to the hospital. I was tired. I hadn't been up hustling, man. I was tired. I had been up hustling for some days, And so we sat down at the hospital and we got in the wheelchair and they took her upstairs, My mother gave me this look, And I told her everything gonna be all right, baby. So I'm gonna go home and get some rest and I'll be back down here. So I went home and I went to sleep. But later I went home, ate, did everything, and I went to sleep. And when I went to sleep, I woke up from a dream that I was having, and I dreamed that one of the dreams was that I was going to prison. And other dream was that my mother had passed. So I woke up out of my sleep and I called down to the hospital, which it was too late because it had to be about 3-4 o'clock in the morning at this time. And the phones at the hospital were turned off. So the rooms, you couldn't speak to anyone in the rooms at the time. Can you dig it?
favorite song on repeat. Don't try to be a wiz, you not the least. She wanna be my friend, I got a seat. But she gon' let me in, I gotta breathe. My kiss on the skin whenever I'm free. When I'm separated from you, I'm not complete. I know you see some things, I know you see some frames. That ain't for that, I'm really in need of things. We up on pizza games. Together in the bag, I play some lazy games. Ain't been asleep in days, can't get no rest. What you said, oh, you need my name. Johnny Wayne came my legal name. Spread up, wait, it ain't too late. I'm finna say today, let me be great. These niggas ain't got nothing to say. Hey, with words, nigga, wordplay. Yeah, my eyes closed on my way. Can't go zip away, it was straight. Ay, can you dig it? Can you dig it? I can dig it, I can dig it. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? I can dig it, I can dig it. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? I can dig it, I can dig it. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? I can dig it, I can dig it.
Okay, y'all hold on just for a second. Phone wrong and throw it y'all. But yeah, so like I was just saying, excuse me for that. So I called down to the hospital and I spoke with my mom's boyfriend at the time. He said my mom was sleeping like an angel. And I said, all right, I'll be down there to see y'all a couple of hours. You know, I had to go pay some bills and stuff. So I went on to go, you know, handle my bill and pay the bills. And came back to the house. And we was in the house, the lights went out in the house, and there was a lady in the house that was visiting. And when the lights went out in the house, a thunderstorm, matter of fact, at the same time. So the thunder hit, the lightning hit, thunder hit, and then the lights went off in the house. And the lady that was in the house, she was like, oh, rigor mortis. And I looked at her like, man, you know, I want to hear nobody say that, you know. My mother was in the hospital sick, and I most definitely didn't want to hear nobody talking about no rigor mortis, you know, like she said, death or something. So after that, a little time went by. I pulled off for a second to go handle some business, and I messed around and locked my phone in the trunk, and I had a little hit in the car, a little hit in the car. So when I was pulling back up, and I was driving back to the house, I'm searching for the phone, so I'm thinking I left my phone at home. And I pull in the driveway and jump out the car to pop the trunk to pull the phone out. My brother's best friend, Black Mike, you know, man, Lord have mercy on his soul. He stepped out and he was like, hey, man, you need to get to the hospital, man. They called, man. They said you need to get down to your mama and start breathing. When he said that, man, at that moment, I knew my mother had died. Excuse me, I missed the part. Hold on. I skipped something. I skipped something before that. So before I had left, I called down to the hospital to speak with my mother. And she picked the phone up on the first ring. I had to go take some money to the bank to change out, and we had a joint account, and I couldn't remember the bank account number. So when I called, she picked the phone up on the first ring. I said, hey, mama, how you doing, baby? You know, I'm be down there to see you in a minute. I'm gonna stop by the bank first so I can go pay the bills, you know, but I need to go change this change out for some cash for some dollar bills. And what is the bank account number? I said, the bank account number, some 066 something, whatever. I couldn't remember that first, but when I talked to her, I called the whole bank account number out. And she said, yeah, baby, that's it. That's it. And she started snoring. So I'm like, yeah, well, I said, mom, you know, I'll give you a call back. You know, well, I'll be down there anyway, but I'm calling if I come. I love you, baby. Now I'll see you later. I took off, went to go handle the business. And I came back. I had to lock that phone in the trunk. When I pulled up, Black Mike came out the door. Black Mike was like, hey, man, you need to get out to the hospital, man. They say your mama done stopped breathing. I said, man, my mama dead. I knew at that moment she was dead because something told me to call back to the hospital when she started snoring. And she had actually went into a death snore. I didn't know that, though, at the time because she was in so much pain, it was getting her morphine. My mama had cancer. And so with them getting her the morphine, she done went out on me before while I was in there talking to her, snoring just like that. So it was something regular to me. Some told me to call down there to get them to check, and then something like, nah, she all right. So when Black Mike told me that she stopped breathing, I knew at that moment that my mother had passed. So my cousin came out north, man, Lord have mercy on his soul, Ishmael. We just lost him a couple years ago, but he came out, he came running out. And he was crying, we ran. I was like, man, stop crying. Ain't no reason to be crying. But it made me panic a little bit, man. I drove down 20 headed back to Crawford Lawn Hospital, man. I was doing the dashboard. I was doing 120 miles per hour. So if you know, I live by Gresham Road. So right in that first curve, right behind East Hampton Apartments, before you like run under the Fayetteville underpath, Fayetteville Road underpath, there was a Georgia State Patrol sitting on the side. And Georgia State Patrol, I was driving so fast, only thing he can do was, lean out his door, and he shook his hand and finger at me like this. And I was like, man, you bring your ass on, because if you go lock me up, man, I'm rushing to the hospital. It's emergency. So as I was flying down to the hospital, soon we got close to Capitol Avenue, the sky just fell out again. And so that just went to pouring down rain. So everybody had to slow down. So I slowed down while I was driving. And that was just God telling me to slow down. Everything was all right. So we get down to the hospital. They put us in the family room. If you know, they call you to the hospital and they put the family in the family room, it's not a good situation. So the doctor came in and talked to me like, hey, who I need to talk to? And I was like, me. He said, look, man, your mama, I believe she did. We tried to resuscitate her, bring her back. And he said, you want me to work on her a little bit more? I said, work on her a little bit more. If you can't bring her back, that's it. So he came back, some minutes later. I don't know how long it was. Felt like a long time to me. But he came back. He was like, look, man, we could not bring her back. The mother has passed. So went in, everybody bust out in tears, crying. I teared up just for a second, but I knew I had to handle business. So we went in, me and my aunt, my girlfriend at the time, and my auntie closed my mother's eyes, man. That was one of the hardest days in my life, So with that being said, after I dealt with her funeral and everything, I paid for her funeral straight out of my pocket. I hustled the money up to pay for her funeral. The lady who, the mortuary that we used was Epworth's Mortuary, which was off Simpson Road, which is gone now. She raised my mother. Well, she stayed right across the street from my grandmother, my great-grandparents. And so she helped raise my mother. She knew us very well. Knew me my whole life and everything. So I entrusted her with dealing with my mother. She knew what my mother looked like, know my mother's personality and everything. So we buried my mother in a gold casket with this like tan-ish like goldish dress and put a little jewelry on and everything. I got a chance to experience dealing with my mother while she was on the slab, while she was already passed away. My cousin Donna Hare, she cried the whole time telling her to shut up. She touched my mama's feet. My mama, if everybody knew my mother was very ticklish. So she touched my mother's feet, and when she touched my mother's feet, it looked like my mother eye had lifted a little bit. And she like, oh, sorry. She just started crying and stuff. And I was like, man, shut up, man. She didn't felt that, So we laughed about that back down while she was on the slab. That was what the cousin doing the house. And that was a good experience for me. It helped me really cope with her death pretty well for a little while. And after that, life, goes on. We buried my mother, man. I broke down. I didn't cry not one time until the wake. And I broke down in tears at the wake because, it was settling in and it was real to me, I had to handle all the business, so I had to man up. So crime wasn't going to help me handle the business, that this wake, it was real to me, and I broke down and cried at the wake, realizing, and really understanding that, the next thing was, giving my mother proper burial, and I'm not seeing her anymore after this. So life goes on. I'm staying with one of my partners, Big Cheese, and living with Cheese, man. I was living on the sofa. I was gonna sleep on the sofa in his apartment. And he was just telling me, man, you gotta get your ass up, man. Because I was a hustler. Like, man, you gotta get up. You can't just be laying around. Laying around ain't gonna get no bills paid, ain't gonna put no money in your pocket. Life goes on, nigga. Get your ass up. I know it's your mama, but get your butt up and get back to moving. So I'm like, man, bump that. I get up when I feel like it. And I was in a state of depression and really not knowing it. So later on, I end up catching Bell's palsy. The whole left side of my face went out. That's a whole nother story I tell, but it came from a chemical reaction of me being stressed out and I caught a cold, and it caused for the nerves in my face to go out. I mean, I went on a date with a chick. I was feeling that my face was kind of heavy, but as I was driving that night, if the light would hit me, my eye was not blinking, so the light was hurting my eye. My whole left side was starting to say, I'm telling my face started to feel sagging, like it's heavy and everything. The girl just laughing, like, you silly, because I'm silly. I tell a lot of jokes and stuff. And I was always doing something silly back there. So once we got to the restaurant, I ordered some water and I was trying to drink the water and I had a straw. And I was trying to, drink out the straw, but my mouth wasn't open wide enough for me to put the straw in my mouth. So I'm telling her there's something wrong. So once I get the straw in my mouth, I'm trying to suck. By my left side dragging, I didn't have any control of these muscles on this side. I couldn't suck, so I had to hold my lips like this to suck the water through the straw. So she bust out laughing, man. We went to the hospital and come and find out, man. It took me to go to the hospital 3 different times before a doctor actually knew what was going on with me, because I thought I had a mild stroke or something. But that one was the world. That was not what it was. So after that small feat, man, I came out of my depression. And when I came out of my depression, I was hell bent. I was on a one-way ticket to hell or to jail. If anybody had said something wrong to me and I ain't do nothing about it, I wouldn't do something about it. I just went on a tear, and I ended up going to prison for armed robbery. I did 14 years for armed robbery. And through that bit of time that I've done, I started working on my anger issues. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't come out the same way that I went in. So the first thing I did, I chased the people down, tried to get into the GED class. And through that, they was telling me that I couldn't get in the GED class because I had so much time left, and they were trying to put people in the class that were had shorter time. So I was working in the kitchen, and I was working on the line. I walked in one day, and the kitchen steward is by the name of Conoco. And he looked at me, he said, "Hey, Murph, man, what's going on?" He said, "Man, you pissed off today." I said, "Yeah, I am, man. I don't even want to be up here." I said, "Shit, they can come and work me and slave me in this kitchen, but they don't want me to get my education." I said, "Man, it don't make no sense. What about when I get old and don't feel like taking these classes to get my education?" So the Conoco told me, "Man, I'm gonna see if I can get you in there. You dead serious, but I'm gonna see if I can get you in there." So after that, I went perked me up. So, I went to work hard in the kitchen and everything. So every day I came out and asked Mr. McConaughey, "Hey, McConaughey, have you hollered at the council yet? You've been trying to get me in the class, get the GED." So he's like, "I got you, Murph, I got you." Well, I felt like he was BSing me. I thought he was shitting me. So after a while, he didn't never get in the class. So I come back in one day and he seen the look on my face again. He said, "Hey, man, it's crazy. I talked to my wife last night, man, about you. What makes I go up here and get you in this class?" So I turned around and went and got me in that class. And I told him once he got me in that class, I said, "Man, I ain't gonna bullshit you like you bullshit me. I ain't gonna let myself down, so I ain't gonna let you down. I'm going here and get this GED." And that was a small achievement for me. I did get that. Well, not small, it was a big achievement for me. I got my GED while I was in prison. And on my release, got back out here, tried to get it. Well, I did work a job for a little bit. And it was like, Make Johnny 1K. And I heard his music and it inspired me. And I told 1K, I said, man, give me some time. I got some pull. Some people I done dealt with in the past because I used to produce before I went to prison. And I said, we're going to try to make something happen. I held on to that promise, man. And that's how I ended up starting Art Official Entertainment. Me and Johnny 1K sat down and we came up with a name. And I put everything to work. So, man, that was small. That was a good moment, man. And, after being around them for a while and seeing them do the music and everything, and I always produce, so I started producing. But I was like, hey, man, show me how to engineer because I never really engineered. So I asked them every time what they were doing. They couldn't nobody really explain to me what they were doing. They just knew how to do it because they hadn't been around so long, but they couldn't explain to me to give me any technical terms or anything about what they was doing. So I found myself at SAE. Here to sign up for SAE, that's where I'm at now. I got 2 more classes before I graduate to be December, man. So, coming from a place of hurt, a deep, dark place, to come out and to be this hell-bound, bent, to going to prison, getting my GED, and coming out and now I'll be, earning my associate's degree in the applied science of audio. Coming out of a deep place of depression. Came a long way. I have rose above, I have rose above from the bottom. Like they say, from the bottom we come, and we rise to the top. That's what I did. And, if I can come from a dark place of depression, so can you. This is how I did it. I used this book also. I've read this book, man. You need to read it. I'm going to place it up there right quick so you can see it. I recommend that you use this book to help you out dealing with depression. Shoot, let me set this up here, okay? Oh, yeah, I'm out there, so I'll get back to that. Y'all excuse me one time. Share this book with y'all right quick. So using this book, man, dealing with depression, man, killing depression. Go look it up, man. So, IDPLR book. Go in and look that up, man. It can help you right on out, man. So I end this with that, man. And be about that life, man. Whatever it is, be about that life. BBDL. Be about that life. Attach it to anything, man. Whatever you're doing, be about it. It don't matter what you're doing in life. Why did this camera flip? Whatever you're doing in life, man, be about that life. I have a whole lot of problems, man. Y'all excuse me. Let me see what this world. All right. Man, be about that life, man. Peace out, man. This is my brother.
eyes closed, I'ma work. Gave a zip away, it was straight. Ay, can you dig it? Can you dig? I can dig it, I can dig it. Can you dig it? Can you dig it?